go. Okay. Welcome. Damn, I got some big hair today. All right. Welcome, everyone. How's everybody doing? TikTok? Instagram? I'm not sure what's happening with Instagram. TikTok looks okay. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Awesome. Welcome everyone on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium and my Facebook pages. Good to have you guys back on Facebook. If I could get, okay, YouTube is good. Thank you, Darlene Luz 3442. Welcome. All right, so yeah, if I could just get a final confirmation. Diana, that we're good on all platforms. Okay, Susanna, good to see you. You guys, tonight is the Love and Relationships show. So get your questions in. It is unlimited. Hey, Tony. What's love? Pulling your leg? Don't ask me, brother. Some unicorn I haven't met yet. Okay, good. All right, looks good, looks good. So we are doing the Love and Relationships show tonight. That means that you guys can get your questions in, including the first name or the initials on whoever it is that you're referring to. And this can be family, friends, lovers, exes, your spouse, your dog, your cat, your goldfish, your relationship to food, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to spirit, literally any type of relationship goes. Okay. So it's just heavily focused on relationships and making them healthy, productive. Okay. Relationships are so important. Yeah. You tell me, Tony. You tell me. I know you got something up your sleeve. So tonight is unlimited. Okay. I can't do that every night, but I can tonight. And if you guys prefer to do this privately, you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com. and click on the love and relationship reading, okay? And if you want to do a reading, a lot of people have been asking lately, like, why do you have all these options on your website? Well, it's kind of obvious if you read them. So if you take a moment to read them, one says past life, one says money and finances, one says love and relationships, one is for your pet. I mean, that's what they are. You know what I mean? So I don't know where the confusion is coming from. I think people just don't like to have to comprehend these days. So that's what they are. But if you want a reading that includes everything, that's the one right up at the top on my website. That is the basic psychic mediumship reading. Okay. And I do work internationally, simple self-booking system. So check it out. Also, we are here at the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home. So when you guys ask, where is she filming from? That's what this is. This was the Francis Rhodes house. Then it became a really popular funeral home in this area for over 55 years. And that got shut down. And it sat vacant for 16 years. And I bought it up. I snatched it up a couple years ago. And I'm restoring it. And it's very haunted. Verifiably. So it is on the Haunted History Trail of New York State. And if you want to book a haunted sleepover with up to 25 of your friends, you can go to hauntedhistorytrailofnewyorkstate.com, or you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. You can also book your ghost hunt for your team. And if you're not into the paranormal aspect of things, but you love the beautiful architecture and the history, you can book a historical tour. So there's always a ton going on here. All right, very cool. We also have the early bird waitlist is now open for my psychic mediumship course. For those of you who wanted to get certified, become an Ivy League Psychic Academy reader, work for Ivy's Healing Call Center, maybe you just want to get certified, okay, in doing this type of work that I do. This is going to be the course for you. It is unmatched internationally. I have a method I designed all on my own. I haven't regurgitated anything from anyone else. It involves no meditation, and it's absolutely phenomenal, if I do say so myself. My readers are averaging 24 readings per psychic fair party day, whereas the average reader is doing 6. So, you know, everybody ends up here eventually. And I was only able to teach one class in 2026. I'm only going to have time to teach one in 2027 as well. I have not officially opened up registration or announced the dates, but I'm thinking Thursdays, and I'm thinking the end of February at this point. I've pretty much narrowed it down. Now, if you want to get your foot in the door, because once registration opens, it is going to fill fast. It is limited seating. You can get on the early bird wait list. So email me at Rev as in Reverend. So it's just REV, and then it's my name. So Rev Ivy Rivera at Yahoo. Put a little book emoji up in the title bar. I'll know what it's for, and I'll get you added to the early bird wait list. So you guys will get notified before it goes up on the website and registration opens. Okay. And it's always evergreen. Okay. So if you guys don't like want to wait, or you don't feel like you need to learn with a group, it's evergreen. You can join anytime and get certified, and you don't have to get certified. Okay. It's an option. It's not a requirement. If you want a much smaller version, I have a 10-week course. It's called Tier 1 Psychic Mediumship course versus Tier 2, the 28-week full course. So if you just want to learn the basics of psychic mediumship, you can also check out Tier 1. Okay, that's up on the website, and you know, that's evergreen, of course. It's all video downloads, that one. What else? If you can hear my stomach, it's because I'm fasting. And I do want to give a quick shout out to my YouTube members. If you guys are tuning in, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. We're doing the love and relationships show tonight. It is unlimited, so start getting your questions in now. Who saw the video I put out this morning on how to submit your donation and your question, et cetera, et cetera? Did anyone see that? Okay, please give it some love. I do have a poll I'm going to be running this upcoming week on new show ideas that have been coming to me. And I would appreciate if you guys could vote on that. That's how all these shows got here. Okay. And if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear. If there's a show you would like to see me do on a regular basis, or just try it out even, let me know. But thank you so much to my YouTube members: Pascal, Vanessa, Andrea M., Black Cat, Jennifer Barone, Kelly Davis, Jessica Castro, Jess, Tanya Newkirk, Yolanda Fisher, Kate S., Melissa S., Sarah Sotelo, Joelle Porter, June Hawthorne, Deb Basil, Chaley, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Stella Marie, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jayla Beans, Christine W., Edgar Velardes, Miami Heat 305-ish, Shauna Dempsey, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Murray D., Tristan Marion, and Me Love 716. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, my YouTube members and I have a ton of fun. So if you want to check out the membership options, go over to YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium, hit the join button. You'll see 3 different tiers of membership options. They get things like a monthly horoscope, weekly spirit messages. Sometimes that just includes like a bunch of free readings, an Ask Ivy exclusive show once a month, a monthly mini class, and that's for all 3 tiers. Direct email reading, which literally pays for the highest tier subscription itself. So lots going on. Check it out. Is there anything I forgot to mention? Parties, book your summer party. Okay, if you guys haven't already done so, if you're looking into summer or fall parties. So I am in entertainment, so I do gallery shows and I do private reads after. It's typically what most people want. or tours. If you're into the historical aspect, you're looking for someone to do your paranormal tour, your historical tour. I often work with, historical docents on those types of things, but now is the time to start booking those. The dates are already starting to run a little bit skimp. What is this? Hold on. Let me fix my Instagram real quick. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. I have to do like Olympics over all these wires. Okay, so also on Monday, the new astrology show is back. You guys voted this in. You've been eating it up. So I'm having a lot of fun with it too. The astrology show for each zodiac sign for the month of August is going to be Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, back here on all these platforms with a live Q&A at the end for whatever your questions may be. So check that out. And then we have pet readings. So it's my pet psychic show. Get your early questions in now. It is going to be unlimited for your living or deceased pets. That's going to be this upcoming Wednesday. And then on Thursday, so next Thursday is Dear Ivy, my free advice show. All right, so no donations at that one. If you want to leave a donation, that's fine, but don't feel like you have to. So that's my play off of Dear Abby, where I give you guys my personal free advice on any topic from a spiritual, energetic, more cosmic perspective. And it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love that show. I think that's my favorite of all time. Okay, so get your early questions in now for that as well. Is that everything we needed to talk about? I think so. All my pens are running out. Everything runs out at the same time. All my notepads run out at the same time. All my pens die at the same time. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak. This is my love and relationships show where you can ask about any type of relationship, your ex, your current love partner, what will love bring? What is this relationship going to look like in the future? I have a family problem. I want to know about these friends. How do I make more friends? Your relationship to your dog, your cat, yourself, food and addiction. It doesn't matter. Anything goes. It is unlimited. I can't do that all the time, but I can tonight. So go ahead, drop your $10 donation and your question. In with your question, do include the first name or the initials of whoever it is that you're referring to. And if you prefer to do this privately, you can do that up on my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. Click on the love and relationship reading. If you have to post and ghost, it's not an issue. This will get published in about 24 hours exclusively on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium with timestamps. If you guys were tuned in last night, I'm not sure what happened, but a bunch of you submitted questions for the wrong show. Last night was the blessings show where I tell you whatever blessing is coming in. A bunch of you were asking about animals and your love life and work stuff, and then messaged me after and said, like, you didn't answer me. I didn't answer you because it's the wrong show. You just dropped it, right, at the wrong show. Diana, my beautiful producer, is here to help you get that corrected and in order today. But you have to be mindful. I did put out a video today and I pinned it to the top of all my social media. You guys can go watch that video. If you don't know how this works, you're supposed to drop your donation and a question, not drop money and not mark what show it's for, and then go on to like memes and videos and funny skits I'm running and just like drop your question there and assume that we're following you. We're not following you. You're following here. So you need to put everything under one umbrella in a nice tidy way because my producers aren't chasing you down. And if you submit something for the wrong show, you're going to have to wait for the next show. If you want a refund, you can get a refund, but I would prefer that you pay attention to what's going on, okay, and keep it organized. So I don't know what went wrong yesterday, but a bunch of you guys are just dropping stuff. And now you're complaining you didn't get your answers. Diana, again, is here in the comment section to help you sort that out tonight. Okay, so let's get that done. Otherwise, I would appreciate if you guys could all watch that video on how these shows work. Okay, again, that I put out this morning, and then I pinned it to the top of all my social media accounts. I think it'll help a lot, especially as we expand. Now, next week, I'm running a poll on a whole bunch of new shows I'm thinking of bringing in. So I would love to hear your feedback on that. I would love to see you guys vote. Let me know if there are any shows that you would like to see that aren't on that list. And we're really going to have to tighten things up a little bit after that, okay? Because that's full capacity. I'm already doing shows, I want to say 3-4 times a week. All right, so I just want to make sure everything's in working order and you guys aren't getting skipped or missed because you did it wrong, okay? And if we should ever mess up on our end, accidents happen, just reach out right away. Don't wait like weeks or months, okay? And then have no proof of purchase, et cetera, et cetera. Just handle it quickly. But again, remember, folks, you know, another big problem is a lot of people have been reaching out. You're like, you didn't call me, you didn't do it, you didn't do it. I did do it. Go back and check the timestamps, okay? Everything gets published within 24 hours on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium with timestamps. So if you're not sure or you didn't hear, you can check it once it gets published, okay? Before you reach out and say that you were in fact skipped. So we're trying to clean things up here a little bit as we get busier, okay? But I'm super grateful to have you guys. You guys have been absolutely amazing in supporting these shows. And it's been a ton of fun. Let's go ahead and get into this today. Who do we have first? Diana, if you guys are on TikTok, thank you for the hearts on TikTok. If you're on TikTok or you're on Instagram, Diana, my producer, has to post and repost in the comment section the directions because they don't give us a description box and they don't allow us to pin anything. Okay, so watch for her there in the comments. All right, who do we have first? Diana. First up is Mackenzie Mooser. Mackenzie says, what can I see between JR and I over the coming weeks? He admitted he's trying to find himself and is inconsistent since he works nights, but he's still trying. I don't know if I'm self-sabotaging. No, you're not self-sabotaging. First of all, if he knows that his work schedule does not allow for him to contribute much to a relationship, and he's admitting that, you need to give him some props for that. I'll give him that. He's saying to you, I don't have time for you. Okay, I could work with what I have, but I don't have time for this. That's what he just said. Now, you can put a bow around it, you can tie it up, you can make it look pretty, you could, you know, you could do whatever you want with that information, but he just told you, I don't have time for this. My work is my priority, my schedule is what it is, and I don't have enough to give to this. Now, another area where I want to give him props is in admitting to you that he is discovering himself. For him to say that to you, for him to say, I'm figuring out who I am, he basically let you know, again, I'm not really available for this because I don't even know that I'm available for me. I can't really be possibly who you need or want because I don't even know who I am. This person is telling you at this point, whether you pressed him or he gave it voluntarily, that doesn't matter. He's telling you the truth. I am unavailable and I don't know who I am. And you're asking if you're self-sabotaging by questioning it? No. You should be running away. Okay? Or you should be looking at this relationship and saying, I think this is going to have to get demoted, okay, from what I had hoped was going to be a consistent, growing, romantic partnership. It's going to have to now be put into more of a friendship category, maybe a friends with benefits, maybe just something light from time to time, maybe a companionship situation, but it can't be that. It can't be that thing that I wanted it to be. So if you don't leave it entirely, you have to demote it. Okay. It's not you. And honestly, in this situation, it's not even him. He's being totally upfront with you. Okay. So you must have known, because I feel like some of this you pressed out of him. I feel like some of this you squeezed out of him. And so kudos. Because if you felt you had an inkling, a gut instinct that something was off, you may have pressed him to figure out what it was. Now, he probably didn't want to say it or admit it, but it came out. Okay. So good on him and good on you for pressing. And now you just need to do the adult thing, which is take it at face value, take it for what it is. And say, this isn't for me. This isn't what I had hoped it would be, and then acknowledge the relationship. Do we still have some good stuff here? Where do I put it then? It sounds like it's starting to fall in a friendship with benefits category. That's it. You can have a real good time with things like that. Okay. But if you want something serious with someone else, this could become a block and a hindrance because this isn't going to happen here. All right. And that part, I don't know that he fully wants to admit. But it's true. These things he's working on are going to take a long time to work through. And he's not super motivated to work through them. I'm not saying he's not doing any work on himself or his work schedule, but like he's not highly motivated. He's not a real grower, Okay. Thank you, Mackenzie. We're going to move on to another one. Hey, Matt Salem. Hi, Donvils. Good to see you guys. Yep, open questions. Well, it's relationship questions. Anna Pekka is next. Anna Pekka says, I've been casually dating, no attachments. Do you foresee me meeting anyone in the near future who would be of higher value, worthy of investing time into? Let's see what's going on. I don't know if you have a thing for blondes, like Viking looking big giant blonde men. But there is one. And it reminds me of a little bit Holland, who's the guy who's like, I became obsessed during the World Cup. I didn't even know the World Cup existed. And now I know everything about this guy, Holland, Haaland, I think it is. ND, he kind of looks like him. Who knows who I'm talking about? Anyways, this big like Viking looking, he's got like blonde hair and a ponytail. And this guy coming in for you reminds me a little bit of him, but like cleaned up, like less athletic, like more money based. I think what I'm feeling off the two of them is like Holland is he's very sweet. If you watch him, there are a lot of clips, a lot of videos of him like making sure he doesn't just like throw his towel or the equipment at, the equipment boy. Like he hands it over. He's very crafty. Nobody sort of sees him coming, right? He's like, it's wild to watch. He has everything in one person that's of high quality, high value, high vibration, and so it just really makes him stand out. He's what I would call an old soul. Okay, so he clearly comes with this like star quality because he is an old soul to earth. He cannot be overlooked. And that's by design. And the guy I see coming in for you reminds me a lot of Holland in this way, where it's almost like, how do I want to say this? All those things I just mentioned apply to this guy, but he's very soft-spoken. There's a lot of serenity. I heard serenity. Okay. And the way Spirit wrote serenity was almost like SERENTIT, like going this way, which suggests the future, free will, which he has. Everyone has free will, of course. Is he going to continue to move in a serenity path? I think going down to his roots, skeletons in the closet, unfinished business, stuff swept under the carpet, difficult things he had to deal with. He had to learn serenity. Okay, I'm hearing Seinfeld, serenity now. When the father was like going to therapy for the first time, right? And he was shouting at everyone, like trying to create some form of serenity in Queens. I think that there is a battle going on here with him and his higher mind and what he wants to become, how he wants to live, how he wants to enjoy his life, stay centered, stay peaceful. So he's got some fire in him, no doubt about it, or he wouldn't need that. Okay, but he's learning serenity, what he can control, what he can't control, how to stay out of toxic ego, how to work from healthy ego, all these things. You enter the scene and are sort of like, I heard the yin to his yang, whatever. Okay. Balance. You guys bring out light and darkness in each other and help balance it. So I feel good about this. I think, though, he may be a little hesitant to move it forward. This could be coming in between 3 and 4 months. If it doesn't come in then, it would come in around the 12th month out from now. And if he's a little hesitant to move it forward, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you have to just sort of like, it depends on whether or not you're okay with being more in your masculine energy, you know, and pursuing it a little bit harder. But I would know where you want things to lie in that. So if you wanted it to, you know, would you start a more serious relationship next time if you wanted to make sure it stays very much in the masculine and feminine energies and you want to stay in the feminine? You know, you don't want a princess, a guy who wants princess treatment, a guy who wants to be chased, you know, you're going to have to stay steady. You're going to have to pull back. But there's a lot of potential here. But he literally looks like a big blonde Viking to me. So I think, you know, this could be really interesting. But it's very soft. You know, it's he stands out. You can't miss him. Okay. Thank you, Anna. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Pinkness. Pinkness says, hi, Ivy. Relationship reading for me. Okay, my name is Jordan and Patrick. Okay, so any information on Jordan and Patrick? Jordan and Patrick, what is going on with it? You seem to be a fluttering butterfly in this. So you seem to get up in front of Patrick and you're like, you know. I am fluid, I am free, I am air sign, you know, I am a social butterfly. I like to do fun things. And he's a little bit like watching you, like kind of amazed by you, like very entertained by you, sort of mesmerized by you. And then you shut down and you're like, now I'm taking a nap and I'm detached or I'm moody or I don't really want to talk to anyone or I'm not really feeling that. I don't know what happened to that part of your personality, but it's gone. Okay. And he becomes this a little bit more assertive, conversationalist, this intellectual, the silly person. He's, you know, it's a funny switch to watch. It's like you guys take turns sort of entertaining each other. And through those changes, you learn more about each other. So it's this nice dynamic that seems to be unfolding. I heard it's going to continue to unfold. I think this will probably continue to unfold for ballpark another 3 to 6 months, maybe in the 7th month. You guys come out of that and you fully kind of concluded, okay, who the other person is, what the other person is about or how they operate, and how we operate together. Okay, and then we can make some judgments on like where to take this next. What does that mean? Do we like that? Do we not like that? Is it enough? And this is more a question coming from you. You know, is it enough? I think you've moved away from relationships in the past where maybe you've questioned whether you're enough for the other person. And now you're questioning more, you know, how do they feel? And now you're, you know, what do they want? And you're just more like, is it enough for me? You know, and I don't even know that you have an answer to what that means. Like, well, what would need to be entailed in this to make it enough? Like, do you know? So it could land on that question around, you know, the 6th, the 7th month. Right now, you're figuring each other out and you're doing this sort of dance. Right now, I'm entertaining you. I pull back. You entertain me. You take it down a notch. I'm up. You're up. It's interesting. I think this definitely feels like a lot of intrigue between the two of you. I think there's a lot of chemistry as well. And there's a lot of intellectual stimulation. So is it romantic? 100%. Is it friendship? Yeah, but I would say this leans more heavily romantic. Okay, so like a friendship here kind of may never be enough. You know, it's hard to back that up. Yeah, it's kind of intense. Have fun with it. Thank you, Pinkness. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Anne Marie Delora. Anne Marie Delora asks, so with like 4 O's, so I talked to my ex-boyfriend, Jim. I think I told you not to do that. Jim H. Yeah, I know. I talked to my ex-boyfriend, Jim H. He called me last night. Okay. I haven't heard from him in a couple years. Okay. Do you think he's changed? No. LOL. I was very bored and I answered, you're naughty. Where hope to get a reading in person with you soon. Yeah, come see me. I kind of cut off from doing everything this summer, but fall's coming back in, so I'll be like harvesting hops, blah, 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 blah. You know, all the things are coming. Yeah, I miss you. Okay, so I know I brought this guy up before. I know, unless you date all men that are named Jim or James. I mean, I know this has come up before because I'm like glitching, like I'm going backward and forward, and like I feel like I've given messages on this. Don't remember what exactly they were, but it has a vibe of like stay away from that person because that person will never stay away from you. This person will always come with some like cha-cha to try to rope you into some dance with them, only to leave you hanging, to leave you hungover, to leave you feeling unfulfilled. And this could end up being a situation where if you were to get together, you're even feeling unfulfilled, like sexually. And that is the ultimate sin. Okay. That is a huge no-no. You don't get involved in things like that unless you know it's going to be good for you, right? You must own your orgasm, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if he can't pull that off, I don't know, like, what else are we even doing here? So there's something about the way this is coming around this time that even asks, right? It begs the question, is this even something that you can physically enjoy? I do think that he's very attracted to you. I think he's always been attracted to you. I think he will always be attracted to you. And while that can be a nice boost for your ego, or like you said, I was bored. You were bored. There are a million things to do when you're bored. You wanted that ego stroke or that dopamine hit. Okay, you got it. You got it. And that's nice. But it's the reality that he comes almost like a slap in the face, suggesting that he has somehow changed. He's somehow different. He somehow wants to be here to compliment you regularly, you know, to be a part of your life. And it's like, he can't sustain that. He can't pull that off. And I don't even know why he would suggest that he could. You know, I would even say with him, one of the things that may be standing out in this round of you two come together, I don't even know that he really wants to, you know. So there may have been times in his life when he wanted to improve upon himself. At this point, I think he's in a phase of regret where he's like, I didn't do it. Now I can't do it. And I've lost so much. So his energy this time around is actually like kind of a downer. You know, it's like regret, you know, it's like no regrets. It's like, really? It's like tattooed on him. You know what I mean? And he can present however he wants, but it won't last long. I think it could be fun for you to engage with him lightly and to get your ego stroked. And, you know, if he can perform, fine. That's great. But then I think that's where it needs to stay. And it really feels this time like you know him and like you know yourself and you know this is a mismatch. All right. So don't have amnesia. He really comes very empty-handed. I wonder too if he's gotten, especially in the last 3 years, in a habit of like latching onto women so they can carry him through his darkness. You know, You're definitely not playing that game. All right. Thank you, Anne Marie. Have fun with it, but don't have amnesia. Okay. Let's move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Tiffany from TikTok. So Tiffany says, Oh, Tiffany, you sent me coins. Thank you. I missed it because I'm looking, I don't know what the hell I was looking at. The floor, probably? I don't know where my brain, so when I'm reading, I'm like over here in the right side of the brain. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at, but I definitely missed it. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the coins. 100 coins. Awesome. CJG says, CJG, could you give me a general reading about love? What do I need to hear right now? Okay, general on love. What does CJG need to hear about love right now? I heard stay out of it. And I feel like this whole side of my face just swelled and like I got a crick in my neck and I feel like a headache setting in. Well, you know, ultimately, you don't want the headache. Your higher mind wants to rest at night, not have stress dreaming or grinding of your teeth, headaches, got a crick in my neck. You know what I mean? It's like you have enough on your plate right now. And I know this sounds boring, but you really do have enough on your plate right now, from responsibilities to growth in other areas, to career expansion, to self-evolution and spiritual development, to like other greater opportunities coming in. You have enough on your plate right now that this focus on a romantic partnership is like not it. Like you're ding coming up empty, ding coming up empty, ding coming up empty. I keep seeing, you know, at the fair, they have that big hammer that you drop, and the goal is to get, it's like the strongman game. And the goal is to get, right, the weight all the way up to the top. It's like you just keep hammering this shit. And it's not even freaking lifting. Like it's not going anywhere, right? Now, part of the reason that's happening is because you feel like you need more stimulation. I'm not saying you don't, we all do, but you feel like the stimulation you are looking for in life is going to come through a love partner. And it can actually come through many different outlets. So you need to look at a variety of different things. Another issue is that you're pushing for some type of significant synergy, chemistry, romantic stimulation when you don't have contracts coming in right now. So I was just talking to a buddy of mine about this today. You have periods of time in life where you don't have relationships coming in that are contracted, meaning they're randos, they're meaningless, they're empty. Could you entertain that? Yeah, but like you're supposed to be focusing on the relationships where you have contracts when they come in, when it's time. The rest of the time, you're supposed to be focusing on career, money, self-development, creativity, travel, other types of relationships. There are a million other things we're supposed to be focused on. It is not every single season. You know, think of the seasons, right? We have spring, we have summer, we have fall, we have winter. Think of all the seasons. In every single season in life, it is not romantic relationships. Now, society has taught us different because we have capitalism, colonization, the patriarchy, religion. Those are man-made constructs. It's not real. That's not how things actually work, okay? So you're deprogramming, and you need to reprogram to understand that the right people will enter when they're meant to. And that can't really happen if you're not doing the other things you're supposed to. So what I'm hearing right now, stay out of it. Stay out of it. And you could be looking at exes trying to come back in. You could be looking at some playful attitudes with other people. But you could just be feeling like everything sort of falls short in that. And there's a reason for that. It's just not the season. Everything in its proper time. It'll just come to you. You don't even work for it. It just happens. Okay, when it's meant to happen. And then we're back in the game. Okay. All right. Thank you, CJG. Sorry if that was a bummer of a message, but it's just not always time. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have coming in next? Okay. Susanna Cruz 9904. Susanna Cruz. You have a gorgeous name. Hi, Ivy. I'm currently in a relationship that is better off to be apart with Jose. Do you see someone healthier down the road when I'm ready? Well, I don't think you've run through all of your soulmates, and I don't think you've run through even half of your soul tribe members. And I think you even have a couple other karmic partners. Not that I would heavily encourage those, but we've even got two of those. So it's almost like I don't even been with this person for a long time, but like your shit's backed up. Like there's no, when you're with someone in the wrong circumstance for so long, nothing else can get in. So they're all sort of like postponed. Sometimes these things can end up just being a miss, like you missed the deadline. But I feel like for you, they're kind of waiting, they're kind of backed up. So the answer is no. You can't have these other higher vibrational things. You can't get involved in these relationships that where you actually have like contracts and meaningful connections and soulmate connection. You can't have those when this is blocking up the hall, blocking up the door. Okay, so the universe gives you what you say you're ready for, what you're in alignment with. And right now what you're saying is, I'm only ready to be in this old past relationship dynamic that doesn't work and doesn't fulfill me. That's what I want. And the universe is like, enjoy. That's what you get then. That's it. So no, nothing will come in until this is cleared. Until this is cleared. Once you clear it, yeah, I do see. I'm not, you may live a long time also. Like you may be, hot schmexy grandma into your, okay, still encountering. Now, maybe some of that is because this all got backed up, fine, whatever. Okay. But like it never really stops for you. Like you have meaningful connections, contracted relationships into like your late 70s. I mean, this is, so it's up to you whenever you're ready to go. Some of these will start to flow. In the meantime, you're the block. Okay. Because this definitely isn't it. This actually feels more karmic. And for those of you who follow me, I always say about a karmic relationship, get in, get out, get in, get out. It's never meant to become something bigger than that. Get in, get the karma fulfilled, and get out. Okay, because these will suck you in for an entire lifetime, multiple lifetimes. I've seen it happen. You got to get out of these. And the best way to get out is not to get too deeply in. Okay, and you normally know that straight out of the gate, but we ignore it. So be careful. Yeah, many better things coming in, Susanna. Many. Okay, if you can move forward. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Anne-Marie Delora. She's giving feedback. She said, yes, I have reached out to you before about Jim. Okay, I swear I was going to say, am I crazy? That felt way too familiar. So she said, yes, I have reached out to you before about Jim. It was probably a good 3 years ago. Interesting. That's crazy. I would know that then. You told me that he had Peter Pan syndromes. LOL. I'm done. Yeah. No, I'm done. Okay. 100%. If that doesn't sum it up, Peter Pan syndrome. Yeah. And still, but it's like worsening. Okay. You gotta, sometimes I do this weird thing. I've been recognizing it more and more. I'm giving someone a reading and like they say something or it's a question or a message comes through and I do this weird time lapse thing. It's like a time travel thing where it's like a glitch. It's like I glitch out. It's like I go backward and then I time travel forward and then I come back into the center. And it's like, okay, this has to be something I've spoken on before. I don't remember it, but I can feel it because I just went in these different directions. And that's what happened with him. So you've been forewarned. But he is cute. He can be fun. I get it. Thank you, Anne-Marie. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is CJG giving some feedback. She said, thank you, Ivy. It was a great message and it makes perfect sense at this time in my life. I completely understand. Okay, good. Well, thank you, CJG. Thank you for always being here. Enjoy. It's time to date yourself. Anna Teresa said, sorry, I'm a little late to watching mine, but that's so funny. You say this new man is blonde. Yeah, he's like super blonde. I never go for them, but a while back I had a dream of the man I'd be with and he was blonde. So may just be. Yes, it could be. It could be that you're getting on that track also, you know. So typically before you end up with a soulmate or choose to settle down with a soulmate, you usually date like 2 or 3 people that look almost identical to them or like work in the same profession. So it could also be that, you know, I'd have to take a closer look, but I know when I saw him, I was like, is this what she goes for? I thought you were more tall, dark, and handsome, but this guy, sometimes that's how it goes. It's like, really? Very intense. Lots of fun. All right, let's move on to another one. Who else do we have? Thanks so much for the feedback, guys. Susanna Cruz is giving feedback also. She said, yeah, it does feel like it's karmic and I need to move forward and let him go. Thank you. You are so wonderful. So are you, Susanna. Yeah, and you just deserve better. He's really got his grippers on you. You know, and he comes up as a Scorpion. So I don't know if he has Scorpio in his chart or somewhere, but they're very, okay. I used to love dating them, but they will suffocate your ass. Okay. They're just very, very possessive. It's like he's got his hooks. He's got his hooks in you. Okay. You gotta just get free and don't go back, you know. We're gonna move on to another one. Thank you. Who do we have next? Tiffany on TikTok. Should I meet with my Japanese friend Wei or We? WEI. Do we have any chance at relationship? I think so. He's not very serious. He thinks everything's a game. He thinks everything's a joke. He thinks everything's a toy. He thinks everything is cute. He thinks he can make everything cute. He thinks he's cute, right? He thinks you're cute. Everything's about being cute. And it's like, huh, that's a lot of cute. You know, that's a lot of like lightheartedness. When I see this, I have to ask if this person is masking, because even people who like to keep things light have a cutoff point with that. And they tend to counteract it with quite a significant amount of depth. And they tend to detach and actually go, not necessarily dark, but quite silent and like opposite of that, you know, from time to time. And you would see a combination of these things, not like super cute, super high vibrational. Keep it up here, keep it up here, keep it up here, keep it up here, keep it up here. And it's like, okay, then it's not a natural flow of this. It's a desire to only have this. And that suggests to me this person could be masking a lot. And what are they masking? Okay, if they're masking, sometimes it's best not to know. It's also not your business and it doesn't matter and you can't therapize and who, you know what I mean? I don't want to say who cares, but it's like, that's not your stuff. So you could find that in meeting up with this person, they try to stay out of the deep waters, and you could find that you're feeling as though this relationship, not necessarily has ran its course, but if it's very shallow, by design, then it could end up falling flat for you. Okay. And Wei seems scared, like scared to go into the deeper stuff. Yeah. So there could have been some like abuse and neglect in their history, that hasn't been dealt with, you know. I like the relationship dynamics here though a lot. And I think that sometimes you just outgrow a situation like this naturally. And it's like, well, they want to stay right there. And, you know, and I am outgrowing that a little bit, and that's okay. And then you leave them back there and you just keep going. It doesn't have to be blowout. But yeah, I think getting together could be fun. You know, I think getting together could be intriguing. I also think this person, in order for it to turn into something more serious, would have to outgrow this habit. And some of it could just be self-protection, fear of abandonment. Again, not your problem, okay? Thank you, Tiffany. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is, nope, I already saw that one. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. No, I did see this. He has Peter Pan syndrome, destructive force that enjoys watching me suffer. That's sick. A lot of Peter Pan guys are like that. You know, it seems innocent enough. Like, oh, they're just immature. How are they surviving in life? Manipulation, draining others, vampiring, right? Abuse, neglect. It's dark. It seems light, but it's dark. All right, moving on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Edgar Velardes. Edgar says, could I please get messages for right now regarding my relationship with my siblings, Javier and Cesar? Not close to them at all. Yeah, I see that. Javier doesn't care. Javier doesn't care. Javier will do Javier. So Javier is always going to just do whatever makes him feel best. He is self-centered. He is self-focused. He is also competitive. So people like that tend to be a little bit egotistical, you know, or it's almost like, are you trying to compete with me? Are you trying to rock the boat? Are you trying to create some type of conflict with me? And it's like, no, I'm just trying to be me. And I'm sorry I stepped on your toes or made a shadow in your light, you know. He thinks everything and everyone is orbiting around him. And that's coming from, like, he's the center of the universe. And that's coming from a place where he never was. So there could have been neglect. There could have been abuse. There could have been, you know, something in his past where he was not the center. He did not get everything that he needed. Now, if I'm reading that wrong, he was a spoiled effing brat. He was king baby. He was the golden child, okay? I don't think I'm reading that wrong, but anyways, take it out resonates, okay? Because both will have the same effect. Now, you can't really work with someone like that if what you're looking for is equal balance, a loving, supportive relationship, because they haven't evolved out of that sort of childhood 8-year-old mentality of me, okay? And because he's triggered, right? It's not just that he's there, it's that he's triggered when he can't be there. And so he doesn't appreciate really seeing you achieve. I hate to say this is such a negative message, but it's true. Like, he doesn't celebrate, regardless of how he acts or what he says to your face or whatever. I really don't have him celebrating you. I don't have him celebrating your achievements. Now, when I go with the other one, Cesar, it's almost like if he sees you doing less than him, or you're not doing as well, or you're down and out, he may be willing to spend more time. He's more comfortable with you in that energy. But it seems like when you're doing really well, you're high vibrational, you're seeing success, you're doing a lot of like education, you know, professional advancement, got a lot of money in the bank, maybe traveling or looking at like multiple residencies, et cetera, especially like things like literally purchasing a home. Okay, he gets his back up and it's almost like he wants to cut you off, you know, so you may hear less from him. So these two are sort of functioning on a similar wavelength. What can he do about this? Nothing. What was the question? I got lost somewhere along this disappointing path of, this is very empty, you know. The bottom line is this: whatever your question was, there's nothing you could do about this because you have extended yourself and you are highly engaging, you know, with them. And you also have displayed, especially in recent years, that you have really healthy boundaries and you're centering yourself. And so you're also not going to chase them. And this is where you see this, you know, some of this conflict coming up. And that's something they need to deal with. So you're there, you know, just keep coming around. I mean, you travel, you see the family, whatever, you're there. When they want to approach you for a deeper, more meaningful relationship, they can. That's all. Until then, you do you. Okay. But I wouldn't hold my breath. These types of personality problems can take a long, long time to work out. I see often with people like this, it's not until their 40s, 50s, 60s. All right. So it's not a guarantee, but, you know. Thank you, Edgar. I understand. I have a bunch of disappointing siblings. I don't really deal with anyone from my family. It's like, why bother? You know, they're like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? I'm going to go out and I'm going to make my own family. You know, you guys stick with each other in this land of misery. Then you do that. And 20, 30, 40 years later, they're no different. Nothing ever changes there. You know, some people are stuck. It is what it is. I'm glad I got out. All right, let's move on. Darlene Lutz 3442. Darlene Lutz 3442 says, has someone in my life that I'm quite interested in? Is it mutual? Who? Do I have a name? Just someone? Okay. Is it mutual? Well, I'm going to have to do a guessing game here because I don't have a name. And you have a lot of people in your orbit. You have a lot of people in your energy. Okay. So, let me go with my best guess on who you're talking about here. Okay. I think it's that one. It's mutual, but you know, it's mutual. Like, I think this person wants like sexy time. I think this person wants to like, I don't know, have fun. I think this person wants to like maybe go out and like have some drinks and have, it's almost like this person wants experiences with you, They may be a Sagittarius, or significant, okay, in their placement somewhere. They may be Gemini. It's like, let's do this thing. Let's have this experience. Let's create a story to tell. They like to collect the stories, collect the little movies in their head. And that's what people are to them. You know, characters in their movie of life. That's fine. I don't know that that's what you're looking for. So just know what you're dealing with, you know, with this person. They may also be playing a little bit like hard to get. So they may be, yes, Janelle, we're still taking questions. They may be pulling back a little bit, almost building tension or building the storyline. And it could take them a little while to fully engage or like fully ask you to, you know, start having these experiences with them, each experience looking different. So it could be like, you know, we go out and then it's like the next time we're together, like we're sleeping together and it's this big like sexual chemistry thing of discovery. And then it's like we're doing, you know, this other thing after a period of not really getting together at all. And then it's like, okay, we're back to this. And then it's like, we're on to the, I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's very choppy is the only way I can explain it. I think dealing with this person could be choppy. All right. And a lot of people would say, well, that's what dating is. Okay. For you two, that's what dating is. You know what I mean? It isn't, and I heard, what is this platform? It's almost like a platform. I don't know if this person speaks publicly or you do, but there's almost like a platform. Like it feels like one of you has a platform. And so there may be a lot of eyes on this person. Like they may get a lot of attention. You may feel as though they have a lot of potential suitors, right? And you don't want to just be like one of those, for example. All right, take it out resonates. I could be flipping this. I don't think I am though. But it's like, I don't just want to be that. But how do you not be that? How do you not be that for someone who always keeps it there with everybody? How do you not be that? Well, you don't fight the force. Okay. You just learn to sort of enjoy where you guys are and what it is, the nature of it, and you leave it at that. Is it mutual? Yes. Is it something I think you're looking for? I don't think so. Could it be fun? Yeah. You know, could it also burn you a bit? I think honestly it could. I mean, I think if I were to get into something like this, I would feel a little rejected. I worry you would, you know, feel a little wounded. If you do, just drop him. You know? Go find somebody else. And he'll really start chasing you. That's how you get it. That's how you lock it down. Turning the tables. Is it a game you want to play? I don't know. Can you? Probably. Yeah, probably in the next few months. Oh boy. All right, moving on. Who else do we have? Welcome, Janelle Arza. Okay, Darlene. Yep. Next up is Eileen Alexis. Are me and Jesse S going to get back together? Okay, Eileen, Alexis, Jesse S. Are they getting back together? What's going on with this? Are they getting back together? You could. He can't let you go. He's oh, makes me want to puke. It's like I'm sick to my stomach. I'm literally sick to my stomach. I don't know if he's ulcers. I can't prescribe or diagnose. This person is stress. Real pent up. I think that you have been an outlet for this person's stress. Not like you're a punching bag or anything horrible. I think just like you're soothing for them. You know, the chemistry between the two of you makes them feel better. You giving attention corrects their ego, right? So if it was a low, obsessive, controlling vibration, it's into high ego. Now I am confident, I am serene, I am centered. It's like a freaking magic trick, right? So this person, they get around you and they feel good. They feel better. Not being near you is painful for this person physically, okay? Which means, because that's the last part of the puzzle, if it's manifesting physically, that means it started mentally, and then it was emotionally, and then it was energetically, and then it became a physical manifestation. So this person has gone through the ringer not having access to you in that way. Now, what they're trying to do is connect cords or to visit you in your dreams. How many dreams have you had recently of this person showing up? I'd bet a couple. I would bet I'd put money on at least 3. So they're using astral travel. They're using telepathy. They're using clairempathy. They're using all the possible energetic maneuvers that they can to get in with you, stay connected to you, spend time with you without having to actually do the growth, do the work, be honest, approach you with authenticity. That to me is a shit move. Okay. Is it like, oh, but they love you? Do they though? Because define love, right? Love isn't supposed to look like addiction and codependency. Love is supposed to look like I want to show you, right, companionship and support and help you heal and help you build. And I want to receive that back from you. And, you know, I want this to be mutually beneficial, not I want to drain the life out of you. So there's a lot of debate here about whether or not this should ever be, you know, dealt with again. Meaning I would say no, but you will get an opportunity. Yeah. Because they can't do this for very long, especially if you want them to come around faster. Here's how you manipulate it. Cut them off. I have a cord cutting class up on my website, or maybe you have your own cord cutting ceremony. Do a cord cutting, do a blocking, and he'll show up probably within, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, because he's not going to be able to handle this. All right. So with some manipulation, yeah, you could definitely have it back. I don't encourage it, but that's how you get it. All right, let's move on. Thank you, Eileen. A lot of game playing coming up tonight. Like, not that I'm shocked. You're right. It's always sort of there, but usually not this much. Almost like every reading has like an element of game playing with it, you know? Very weird. Something's going on. Maybe it's the astrology. I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Vero Sims. Vero Sims. Again, if you guys have to post and ghost, it's not an issue. This will get published in about 24 hours on my YouTube channel, at Ask Ivy the Medium, with timestamps. So you can go back and watch your reading then if you need to. Vero Sims says, I'm currently single. I broke up with my ex in February. Okay. I'm on dating apps, but I haven't found anyone yet. Just wondering what you see coming in for love. Okay. Well, I feel like you're going to need to get off of those. Although one comes through as beneficial. And while I hate to say it and give him any props, it's Zuckerberg's Facebook dating or whatever. I don't even know if that's still around or if he has something else that he's calling it, but it feels like it's connected to Zuckerberg. So it's the one thing I think he really got right, because everyone you're meeting on there, I see a lot of soulmate connections, a lot of marriages come from that, a lot of psychopaths as well. Because it's all based on your algorithm. So like things you engage in, this person did too. People you know or would hang out with, they do too. Music you like, things that you click on, da 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 da. I mean, he basically has hooked you up, and it's free, with your soulmates. It's insanity. Okay, it's crazy good. So you could still have some luck there. The other ones I'm not feeling. So whether this was like Tinder, I got almost something that looks like Plenty of Fish, which is usually, what is that one? Hinge, Unhinged, men on their nuts. You know, it's looking like those. I would almost put all of those in one category of like toxic, just toxic. I don't think it's worth you paying for. I don't get that for everyone. Sometimes, you know, there are better ones, and I'll say like, you know what, it's only going to be 20, 25 a month. They're going to vet for you. It's going to be good. You know, not for you. I don't feel good about it for you. So I'll be honest, it looks like we can narrow this down to Zuckerberg's app or nothing, no app. And then it feels like you going out organically, okay, is the next really important thing. I'm not saying you're not going out, but you have a tendency to sort of go out and have a very tight group, or I'm talking a lot, or it's very silly, or I see you with it. This could just be symbolic. This does not have to be literal, but this is symbolic. It's like, you know, I'm wearing bright colors and I have like rosy cheeks and I have a fruity drink, you know, or it's like some kind of like margarita, or it's like a pina colada. It's like something fun and sort of tropical, and I'm laughing with my girlfriends, and it's a lot of high energy. That's awesome. I love that for you. But there is this feeling of almost like rejection with that. Like people don't feel, they're not approaching you, okay, in the way that maybe you want to be approached. It ends up being fun, frivolous, too lighthearted, silly. Maybe they're wasted. I know. I mean, I would assume, you know, I don't know. They're immature. They're fuckboys, basically. And it's like, God, you're old to be a fuckboy. Are you serious? Yeah, like all of them. So what's the solution to that? Going out organically, yes, but being at nicer, higher end bars and restaurants where you're drinking maybe a red wine and you are dressed more, like presenting a little bit more, you know, in your feminine luxury, okay, a little more high end, darker colors, more serious, your hair just looking different. Like it's almost like I want to say just tone it down into a more serious, if you want to attract a serious man, you need to look like you are serious. If you want to repel the little boys, you need to not look childlike or fun in any way. And it sounds lame, but look, we're just talking about hooking someone of value. You know what I mean? You can go have fun after that. You know what I mean? You can put your real clothes on after that, but it feels like you need to come at this with a different approach. And then, yes, I do see you starting to attract some higher end people here and having some very interesting conversations and potential travel and more money. Just, okay. You're very serious and it doesn't come off that way. So yeah, some tweaking needs to happen here. But yes, I see definitely great opportunities in your future if you could do this. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Tiffany said from TikTok, thanks, Ivy. It makes sense. He tends to just stop talking, and that's a red flag. When he said he was divorced for 10 years, I about fell over because it seemed like recently. That's interesting. Can you imagine being married to someone like that? Seems like recently. Yeah, and I would say that if your gut is telling you there's something more recent going on, there's probably something lingering going on. You know what I mean? Or he's like, I think what you might be picking up on is that he's the type of person who's always stuck in his past. So maybe it doesn't have to do with like maybe his divorce was 10 years ago, technically on paper, but is he stuck? You know what I mean? In past patterns with other people. You could feel that a mile away. I think that's what you're picking up on. I think that's insanely accurate. Will he talk about it? Probably not, but he doesn't really talk at all. I mean, a lot of times. So it's very, I don't know. You never want to feel when you're trying to build a relationship with someone like they're real hit or miss and they're pulling a lot of disappearing acts and pulling back. It's like, you know what? I mean, the first time I see that, I'm just like, this is going to get real boring real quick and it's going to exhaust me, when they come back, it's almost like a slap in the face. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Daxter TV. Daxter TV says, I'm talking to a girl at the moment and just wondering if we ever have a future together. And what is her name? DPV. Okay, so Daxter TV wants to know about DPV. I think I said that right. Okay. Is there a future potential there? Yeah, I think there could be. I feel like you need to keep it moving forward. Okay. So it's like, keep it popping. Let's keep, this has a start and stall effect. And that could end up being, also because this person tends to, pop in and then pop out. It's like I pop in and then I kind of go away. It's very, okay, if this is stimulating me, I'm here and I'm present, but if it's not, I'm gone. Or this other thing is also stimulating me. So I'm giving a little time here, but I'm also giving a little time over here. When you're dealing with someone like that, you have to make sure that you're not bringing in any type of stagnant, slow energy. The best approach is to be like, yeah, I can roll with this. I can roll with this, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And then like, let's lock it down. Let's, get together. Let's plan the next date, da, 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 da. And I think sometimes with you're feeling as though that's not a strong suit for you, or you're out of ideas, or maybe you just don't want to. Okay, whatever it is. And so that element does come up here as a possible issue, because if things fall off for too long, like 3 days or more, they could fall off permanently. And so we have to be, it's a little delicate in that. But yes, I feel like the two of you, especially in regards to like friends with benefits, or being able to have a lot of intimacy, which is not sexual per se in this case, but it's more about the exchange of ideas, unfiltered, being able to share our emotions without worry of judgment, being able to be an active listener for each other and support one another. Okay. Mentally, emotionally processing problems. Try not to shut down and pull away when you're going through some heavy stuff. I feel like that's really where the biggest benefits of this relationship come from. And then the extras, okay, whether it be like sexual, romantic, da, 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 da. Yeah. So I think there's potential. I think you guys may have trouble categorizing it, and that's fine. You don't have to. Or just remember, right, that societal construct. You don't have to, unless you want to, put a label on something. I like it. Who pushes it forward, though? I don't know. Or does it fall? I don't know. If it falls off for more than a few days, it falls. Potentially permanently. So it's a little delicate. I feel like I'm juggling like balls at the circus. Like, for how long can I catch them all? And it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. We'll see what you guys do. You guys may have to meet in the middle. You may have to make some compromises if you want it to last. But okay, it's good either way. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who else do we have? What else do we have coming in? Next up is Jayla Beans. Jayla Beans 10 says, hey, Ivy, I have a crush on JP. I would like to ask him if we can go to a comedy show to see a comedian we both like. Should I ask him, or is it too soon? Is it not likely? He'll totally say yes. Is it too soon? No. You could have done this already. You know, what's too soon? I mean, the minute you meet someone, if it's like, yeah, we're kind of hitting it, I mean, that, you know, doesn't take time. You know, it's funny because I see him saying yes. I also have him being a little bit like, I'm not saying he would cancel on you, but there's something nervous about him. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why you're feeling like maybe you need to pull back, or you're not certain about this. You're getting mixed messages, et cetera, et cetera. Does he want this? Does he not want this? I can't freaking tell. I can't tell. You can't tell because he's like nervous energy. Okay. Sometimes also, though, when someone likes you a lot, being near you makes them want to puke, okay? Or being near you makes them nervous. Being near you makes them not want to be near you. I mean, basically because it's creating a dysregulation of the nervous system. So it's like, okay, I want this, but I don't want this. And that's true. That's how the body, you know, the body has a mind of its own. And in romance, being a human, it's no easy feat, especially early on. It's very complicated. And so we're wanting to, I want to say, give him some grace, but he can't accept it and then cancel on you, or he's shit. Okay. Because that's shitty. That can happen. Will it happen? I don't know. And you know what? I wonder if that's what you're picking up on too. Because I feel like you're pretty psychic, and I feel like you have a way of being like, I don't know, something weird. You know what I mean? Terrible foreboding. You know, the other shoe's going to drop if I do this. It's like, not really, technically not, but then this, you know? So you could be picking up on his nervousness causing a wishy-washy attitude. He's not the boldest person I've ever seen. You know, he doesn't always push through. Sometimes he just caves. And it's like, okay, as long as you're caving on your own time, I mean, don't cave on her time, especially if you got tickets or something, you know. I would do it if I were you, and see what he's made of. See what he's made of. But yeah, I think he's going to accept. If he were to say, no, I can't, for like whatever, you know, I have this going on or that going on that date, I think he's going to follow up. Although, as I'm saying it, I do feel like I'm choking. So here come his freaking nerves again. What is going on with this guy? He could use a little therapy. Or like, I don't know, vodka or something. I mean, he needs to calm down. And maybe that's how he gets through it. Maybe he does a couple of shots of tequila and then, you know, everything ends up fine. But like, damn. Just even the thought of like, oh, well, now I have to ask her out, or I do want to ask her out, or I need to keep this moving forward. He's like choking. Okay. So, you know, keep it light. Keep it light. Like, hey, you want to do this? Keep it light, you know? But yeah, I would. Interesting. Okay. Because you want to get to the bottom of it. Okay. So yeah, there's something there. Once we can get past the rough waters in the beginning, I think it could be very interesting. You know, there's an intensity here between the two of you. I think it's worth exploring if you can get there. We'll see. Thank you, Jayla. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Edgar. Okay, is giving feedback on his previous reading. Okay, this was about his brothers. He said, all that resonates regarding my brothers, Javier and Cesar. They don't really celebrate my accomplishments. And now I just focus on myself. Thank you. Aw, I'm sorry, Edgar. That's a bummer. You know, sometimes our birth family is just our birth family. It's more karmic, and, you know, you get in, you get out. It's not that big a deal. And other people get born into their soul tribe, their soulmates, that not us, but whatever, you know. All right. Well, thank you, Edgar, for that feedback. Sending you love. Eileen Alexis said, thank you for my reading. Yeah, we spend a lot of time with each other. As of recently, he always seems annoyed with me, but also feels like he can't go too long without me. I do want it to work. Interesting. You know, I'm always suspicious when a guy acts like that too, that he may be closeted. Be careful, ladies, because when they start to show almost like a peeve, like they're annoyed with you, they're, you know, kind of bitchy. It's like there's either too much homosocial activity going on, or he's potentially closeted, or he's not feeling satisfied in some way. Don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate it. All right. Moving on to another one. Who do we have next? Nicole W. Nicole W. says, will Stephen, Stephen, will Stephen and I be able to come to an agreement in mediation over our son Braxton? You know, I don't think so, because it's like he doesn't want to. It's like he's the problem. It's like he's the son. He probably was in your previous life, like your child or something. But anyways, you know, I feel like he doesn't want to come to any type of agreement in mediation. What is going to likely happen, though, is that after 3 attempts, 3 months, 3 different accounts of paperwork, okay, whatever it is, it breaks down to 3, he's forced. And by being forced, I mean, things are, I just heard, out of time. Okay, that could be. I didn't see that, but that's what Spirit's saying. Something runs out of time. It could just be like within the legal system or whatever, right? The judge makes a decision then, something like that. Okay, fine. I was going to say he doesn't have any more cards to play. So it seems like for a while he's been like, you know, really kind of hoarding things, trying to force things to go, you know, to go his way and da. And it's like he's putting his cards down almost like one at a time, or he's almost like bluffing. And then he has to play his hand because of like a counter move. So it's like you may be in the process of doing something in the last 2 days, 2 weeks, I would say, but 2 moves possibly as well. But recently, like there are 2 moves that you made, let's say, where you got him by the throat, like up against a wall. He's between a rock and a hard place. He really has no choice. And at that time, he has to show his hand. So now he's out of cards. So it ends up like the answer is no. I mean, the answer is he will not, you know, but can he be forced to? Yes. And I would almost put money on it. Now, I have to be careful with readings like this because everyone involved, from the lawyers to the judge, to him, to you, the kid, and you know, the child advocates, everybody has free will. So there are too many hands in the pot for me to give a 100% guarantee, but I would say 80, 85%, I would almost put money on it that it works out that way. And in that time frame. Because what else is he going to do? If I saw alternative routes, it would be like, it could be this, could be that, it could move this way. It can't. It can't. He's a tiresome cow who has backed himself up against a wall. And he's, you know, running out of time. Interesting. All right, thank you, Nicole. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Next up is Susanna Cruz. This is a second question for Susanna. She said, did my ex-husband Dorian ever love me? I have loved him since I was with him, but not in my mind to go back with him. I'm curious if he loved me at all or thinks about me. Dorian, am I spelling that right? Okay, Dorian. Does he love her? Does he think about her? He definitely does. I think that a lot of his lifeline to you, or he sees you as a lifeline, was very childlike, though, which can feel kind of gross or codependent. He may have taken a lot from you and not given a lot back. So he almost saw you as like this maternal figure he could drain. He's also grown up. I don't know if I want to say he's grown up. He's gotten older. Okay. So a lot of people give this illusion of change, not because they did, but because life happened to them and circumstances changed. So it's like, I'm different now. It's like, you're really not. It can appear that way. But I think that what's happened with him is that his his level of resistance to growth and change is dwindling. And as life occurs and obstacles happen and he gets tested from the universe, he is examining more and more of that connection with you, how it was a drain on you, how he didn't deserve you, how he didn't reciprocate in the ways he should have, because he certainly could have. He certainly could have. Which tells me he was manipulative. Okay. So neglectful, abusive, right? Emotionally at the very least. But he held back when he should have given. He could have given and he wouldn't. Now that suggests it was for control, to keep you there so he could consistently continue to drain from you. I think it worked. I think he learned this from his parents. So anyways, he does love you. He's loving you more in time, because as he's getting older, he's figuring out more about what real love is, where he has deficits, where he needs to grow and change, what you were deserving of. Also, he hasn't met anyone else like you. So there was a substantial connection here between the two of you. It's unfortunate when that gets abused, but it's not uncommon. So just because you have a contract with someone doesn't mean they're going to treat you well. Those could be just as toxic and abusive as anything else, a stranger off the street. And it seems unbelievable to the person who's recognizing the value of the contract, you know, and it can make you question, did he not feel anything? Oh, he felt it. He still feels it, and it will haunt his ass for the rest of his life. And that's where he is right now, thinking of you quite a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the time you're thinking of him. It's not that way at all. What came first, the chicken or the egg? He thought of you and is pulling and tugging at your energy because he's thinking of you voluntarily and involuntarily. That's how it works. He does. Ultimately, though, your story is to go forward in life, you know, not backwards. People who can't see the value in you, in the relationship, in the contract. So that's your big lesson here. Thank you, Susanna. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is, I'm just reading some of your responses. It's time for last call. So if you guys haven't already done so, drop your donation and your question. Do include the first name or the initials of whoever it is that you're referring to. And if you have to post and ghost, it's not a problem. This will replay, get published on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium in about 24 hours with timestamps. If you want to book privately, you could do that at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. All right. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. We're going to move on to Jayla Beans. I think this is feedback. She said, haha, he totally gets me flustered. Oh, this is the guy you're thinking of asking out. Okay, this was a good one. Haha, he totally gets me flustered, but that makes sense. I feel like we are reflections of each other at this point. I am psychic. Haha, it takes one to know one. He's a cop. He can totally use therapy. Yeah, he can totally use therapy. I don't know. There's something hot about it. I mean, you may as well. You know what I mean? What do you have to lose? Especially if you treat it just like it's something light, then like it doesn't really matter. You know, you just want to go take somebody else. You know. Okay, interesting. I have a feeling this will be coming up in future shows. Love it, love it. All right. Who else do we have? Nicole Whitehead 2916 says, okay, I just paid an attorney for a retainer 2 days ago. Oh, okay. She's giving feedback on this custody question. She asked the custody question about whether or not her ex will be amicable with Braxton custody. So she said, I just paid an attorney for a retainer 2 days ago. You told me previously he would be forced. Just wanted to see if mediation would work. Oh, wow. Okay. So I don't remember that reading, but I don't remember any of my readings, but that feels like a very wise move. If you have someone, because you're just going to have to kind of take the upper hand, kind of cut him off at the knees. Yep. He's going to have to be forced. You know, a lot of lawyers and a lot of people, and a lot of, you know, people who don't want the divorce or don't want to work with you, they drag out mediation. They're all about the freaking mediation. all about it. And then you get there and you realize months in, you're being had. It's a big game. It's a big racket and everyone's making money off of it. And it's just, you know, at least you tried, whatever. It's not worth getting pissed off about, but it's time to take action. Good for you. Good for you, sister. All right. Eileen Alexis is giving feedback. I think he definitely is just really stressed all the time. He works a lot. That's why I feel so lost in what to do or how to go about things. Interesting. Were you the reading with the guy with the stomach problems? Because as soon as I read that, my stomach hurt. Thank you for that feedback. Susanna said, true. I can feel him thinking about me all the time, and I dream about him a lot. I'm not surprised. He's showing up in your dreams. He's doing that. Yeah, I definitely won't consider him anymore to be in my life. Thank you, Ivy. That gave me clarity. Absolutely. You know, and I think this is an important one for everyone tuning in or watching the replay, whatever. If you've ever gotten involved with someone and you were like, I so intensely felt this relationship, but they were like shitty or not really engaging or inconsistent, or it wouldn't go to therapy or had words, you know what I mean? And they treated you and they treated the relationship like it wasn't valuable, but you know it was, and there were moments where it was clear that they were feeling it as deeply as you. Don't ever doubt that. Just because you have a contract with someone, soulmate, soul tribe, karmic, and it is super duper intense, doesn't mean the other person is ready to, you know, work it out, fully engage with it. It doesn't lessen the contract. And in time, they figure it out and they become more and more and more hooked into you. So it's a time game, really, with people like that. We're going to move on to another one. Who else do we have? Reading number 2 for CJG. Why does my ex TNJ's presence still surface in my thoughts, even though I've released him physically? Okay, let's see what's going on with this. Why is he coming up in the thoughts, even though you've released? Well, there's a lot of unfinished business here. Now, you know, when I talk about unfinished business, I am not saying that it needs to be dealt with in relationship to that other person. I just mean that there's unfinished business, like lessons, growth, karma, you know, bigger picture thinking. What was the point of all of this, right? And until you are fully getting tested by the universe and then walking out your lessons by saying no to things, okay, that were issues in this relationship, you're not done with the cycle, if that makes some sense. So you're still finishing up some of the cycle. So there's a sense of unfinished business. The bigger portion of unfinished business here is coming from his regrets. His regrets. His brain looks like a mouse on a wheel. He's my worst nightmare with like OCD loops, okay? Like, what the hell is he thinking? He's not thinking. He's trying not to think. He tries not to think. This is one controlling individual. You know, he starts to recognize that he wants you, that he misses you, that he wants more, that he should have done this, that he should have done that. Regrets, 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 regrets. And I don't know who talked to him like this as a child. I'm assuming this is a father or grandfather. There's some raggedy ass guy talking nasty to him. Got him talking to himself that way. And now, and I'm not making excuses. You can't coddle him because of this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We all have problems. Okay? You got to own it. But he tries never to think when he knows he needs to take action. And so he gets caught up on these loops of regret instead of processing, instead of healing, instead of problem solving, instead of, you know, most people when they catch themselves in a loop will stop and be like, okay, well, what are the solutions? Let me get out of this. Not him. Okay. And he does this with a lot of things, honestly. So I wouldn't be surprised if his life is somewhat like in the toilet. money sometimes gets all right, and then he F's that up. It loops. Now, with you, and this should piss you off, and this should help you to kind of release any more thoughts. With you, part of the reason he won't approach you and say what he needs to say or do the work on himself so that the two of you can be together or admit to some of these regrets, because some of them he has not ever admitted to at all, is because you're a woman. And the way he looks at you is like, you're below me. And since you're below me, you don't deserve the time, the energy, the processing that this would take. Because who are you to challenge me? You're so far below me. And it's almost like the way he thinks and the way he talks at you is the way that guy talked down to him, right? He's in a loop. I think he's been in this loop since his last life, and I think he could have 2 more lives where he's stuck in this loop if he doesn't pull his shit together, because this is ridiculous. So, you know, when he's in a loop thinking on you, it tugs and pulls at your attention and energy involuntarily. He's not always trying to get your attention energetically or like show up in your dreams or this, that, you know, I mean, he does that, but it's mostly the regret. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, CJG. That's it. You know, you're moving forward and you are walking out most of your lessons. You do still have some other lessons you're getting tested on. You still need to walk out, and then that'll make it a lot easier getting rid of your portion of the contract. You know, wow, it's intense. A lot of parents have this with their kids. Moving on to another one. Who do we have next? Edgar. Okay, so this is another one, separate one for Edgar. Edgar Velardes says, I'm curious if my coworkers in my department at my job, Starlight, miss seeing me during these past 2 weeks that I've been on vacation. How cute. I have missed them, and I look forward. You guys are freaking adorable, and I look forward to, assuming the rest of that is seeing them. Is there more to that? Yeah. Okay, seeing them when I return next week to work. Okay, have they missed you? They have missed you. I feel like, I'm not saying they're literally getting a cake or donuts, but there's almost like, we need to have a party for his return, you know? And maybe they keep that only for like birthdays or special occasions, you know, someone moves up, whatever. But there's like an inclination to take it there. So I feel like they've missed you. I feel like it's mostly feminine energy. So it seems like a bunch of girls, you know, 2 that are maybe like superiors, you know, and then the rest that are maybe, I don't know if they're like juniors or you're all just sort of like on the same level. But yeah, I feel like like kind of everybody, honestly. It looks like the whole crew. Interesting. They also seem to, I'm not saying they fight without you there, but there's like some nasty, weird vibe that came in that's like, you're almost like a sedative. You almost subdue the space. And without you there, it makes very clear what the atmosphere would be like and how it becomes imbalanced. And there's some sharpness, you know, some cutting energy between some of these people that like normally doesn't end up being a thing. But without you there, for some reason, it grows, it gets instigated. And I also wonder if some of this is just the difference between masculine and feminine energy. Like if you're the one guy, it brings in a substantial amount of balance. It's like feminine upon feminine. And then we've got like masculine energy. It's like, you know, something just very yin yang, you know? So there's also that. I also think that they miss your, I heard his sweet face and his humor, So there could be that people kind of interact with you, cross paths deliberately, right? Or come to you because they want to get uplifted throughout the day, okay? With that approach that you bring. And I don't even think you're trying. I think it's just you, okay? And they're fiending a little. And it's like, where's my vape? So yeah, I think it's very sweet. I think it's sweet. I think it's harmonious. And I think they're definitely going to let you know. Adorable. All right. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. Who else do we have? What else do we have? Next up is Eileen Alexis, she said, okay, sent. I want to go more in depth with what's going on between me and Jesse. Like, what's going on with him, or how's he feeling, or is he still in love with me? Okay, so who is Jesse? Okay, so, well, okay. So, all right. So Eileen wants to know, can we go back to that list? I'm going to kind of write it down. So she wants to know, all right, so this guy's name is Jesse. Okay, between us, what's going on with him? How's he feeling? Is he still in love? Still in love. So this is your ex. Let me see what's going on with this. What's going on between the two of you is sort of nothing, because it's you have a grandfather stepping in who said, you know, he's up shit's creek because he can't make a move. His donkey's in a ditch. He's like a deer in the headlights. Like he's frozen in time. You know, this is very Sodom and Gomorrah, where it's like you can't look behind you. You can't look in your rear view mirror. You turn to ashes. I feel like you're not stuck. I'm not going to say you're stuck, but you have no choice but to hold the line, right? You have no choice but to, like, and I'm not saying you're waiting either. I can't find the right words with you tonight on this. You're not stuck. You're not waiting. You are showing your self-respect, okay? You are choosing you. And your hands are tied in regards to making any type of moves or adjustment in this relationship, because your job right now, she said, he's my ex, but we still see each other every day. Okay. So your job right now is to stay in your center. He has changes he needs to make. He has healing he needs to do. He has a bunch of crap from the past he needs to let go of. So he's got detoxing. He also has to get more honest with you directly about how he feels and what he wants. And that's going to require him getting more honest with himself first. There's so much work here for him to do that it's giving this energy of him just taking up space, like something downloading or rebooting on your computer, on your phone screen. You know what I mean? It's just it's just download. It's just reboot. It's just, and it can make you feel you're not stuck, but you could feel stuck, okay, with it. And ultimately, that's what's going on between the two of you. So that's what's important for you to know, is that he has 5 to 6 different areas that he needs to work on, he needs to process, he needs to detox from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And until he has done that, he won't be able to come to you authentically. This could take another 3 to 5 years. I'm not going to sugarcoat. It's a lot of work. And it's potentially going to take even longer than that, or it may never happen if he doesn't get on it. Because what he seems to do is identify that he needs to correct something, and then he almost like puts it on the back burner. Or it's like, I'm going to put a pin in it, or I'm going to put it on Post-it, or it's like, I'm going to file that away in my brain. I'm going to file it away, and I'm going to handle it. And it's like, when are you going to handle it? He needs to be advised. This is an individual who can produce in life if constantly watched over, if his diapers changed for him, if he's told what to do, how to do it, when to do it. He never even asks why to do it. He doesn't care. He's not very invested. He's not very invested in life. He's not a very passionate person. You know, there are categories of people. You're a passionate person. He's not a passionate person. He's not passionate about life. No one who is passionate about life would tolerate this way of living. He's got no fire in the belly. He's got, you know, no zest. But is he in love? I mean, yeah, for sure. But like, what does it matter if it can't really be given? You know, it's just a feeling. We have to remember that he can have loving feelings towards you. He can be in love with you, but he can also not know how to deliver that, right? Because his own stuff isn't dealt with. So it's self-love first in this case. Your hands are tied. All you can do is hold that line. And sometimes I feel like you're not, don't overreach with him. Stop like wanting more, needing more, or like energetically. I see you staring at him and almost like pulling you, like I'm going to pull out of you what I want. It's like, relax, like let it go. Okay, let it go. And this is the third time I got this tonight. You want someone to grow. You want someone to advance. You want someone to be motivated. You want someone to come after you. You want to turn the tables. You pull back. You detach. And that starts mentally. That means I'm not thinking on this person. Okay. And then it affects you emotionally, energetically, physically, and they're triggered. And they come. Okay, men especially are just easy to manipulate that way because they always think everything revolves around them because they're raised up in the patriarchy to believe that. And a woman who pulls back, they chase. They can't help it. It's just a normal reaction to the programming. Okay, so this isn't complicated, but you really shouldn't be making any of your decisions and choices to get anything out of him because he's got so much work to do. I'm telling you, years. It's gonna take years. Okay, hopefully he does it. He has potential to be a decent person and like live a fulfilled life. I don't know. It's just so many people are zombies. I really can't comprehend it. I really cannot imagine not living life. Like, why are you even here? He's one of those. Thank you, Eileen. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Next up is CJG. She's just given some feedback. She said, thank you, Ivy. Yes, TNJ is stuck in repetitive cycles and never sees things a different way. Even when people try to help him or tell him about it, it's sad. I tried my best. You know what? The theme for today, I've said it so many times today in different areas, you can lead a horse to water. I know why that happened. Because when I woke up today, I like to check my horoscopes, my tarot readers and stuff. And the first title I saw was You Can Lead a Horse to Water. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, who put that in their title? Like a TikTok, a YouTuber, right? On their love tarot flip for, I think it was for Cancer. You can lead a horse to water. And I was like, there it is. Like, I can't believe they said that. And it's come up so many different times today. That's all this is. Okay. It's not our job either. Like, we don't have to bring water, a bucket, a horse, and carrot, and nothing. It's not a sugar cube. This is none of that's us. You know what I mean? It's like every individual has to take care of themselves. We have to stop. Us girls have been so trained to do that though. Like we don't even know we're doing it. It's a reflex because of the programming. It is. All right, we're going to move on. Who else do we have? Thank you for that feedback. Next up is Maraid. Maraid says, hi, Ivy. How can I improve my relationship with my body image and self-esteem? I love this question. Body image and self-esteem. Okay. How can Maraid improve her relationship with her body image and her self-esteem? Well, I think you need to find more things about your body that you really like. So maybe you love your nails, maybe you love your hair, maybe you love your eyes, maybe you love your lips, maybe you love your jawline, maybe you love skin on the back of your hand. I mean, I don't care what it is, how big or how small or how much the world ever gets to see it, or it's, hidden under your clothes. I think you need to find more things about your body that you love. I also think you need to, and reflect on that every day, like every day. I mean, when you're getting dressed, taking a shower, you're in the bathroom, you're getting yourself ready, whatever it is, take time every day to sort of reset, because most of us women have been trained to hate every square inch of our bodies. So every day is a battle of reset. We spend so much energy having to do this, but we do have to do this. Reset. Okay. I'm getting back in my body. I love my body. And then I think you need to look at what other people don't have. So I think it would help for you to fall down a little rabbit hole, maybe on TikTok, right? Where you start listening to videos of women talking about what they wish they had, what they don't have. There's a funny series. I think it's a series going around, I don't know, where this girl says something like, for all the pretty girls, you always get one little dose of ugly that God put in the mix so that you don't get too confident and egotistical. It keeps you humble. And she was like, for me, it's scoliosis. And then like all these women started being like, for me, it's this thing or that thing, right? I think you need to spend a little more time understanding what other people don't have, wish they had. Okay. And it could be anything from like strong legs, a good build, you know, big boobs. I mean, like whatever it is, you have to know that there are people who would kill to have that. There are a lot of people who go through surgery to have that, or would, you know what I mean? I think you just need to work more with what is working and less with what isn't. And I think that the more confident you are in your body, you know, the better you're going to feel, the more motivated you are going to be to keep your body going in the right direction. And a lot of that can come through working out. So resistance training, cardio, calorie counting, blah, 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 you know, all the things that go along with the formation of this meat suit, right? Getting it to a place where you really want it to be. I think a ridiculous amount of confidence will come from you getting more, okay, in alignment with where you want your body to be. So resistance training in particular comes up a lot for you. So maybe that could be my symbol for like getting more toned. Okay, maybe you want more tone. Okay, work on more tone. It's nothing beyond you. You know, there's no reason you can't. As far as the self-esteem part goes, and I'll kind of wrap this up quick because I know this one went long. I think you just need to be more loved. And this I don't want to like cry. I don't know why this is making me emotional. Maybe I resonate with this. I don't know, but like, I think you just need to be more loved. I think you've done enough with the self-examination and the spiritual development and the therapy and the letting go and the boundary setting with toxic people and the, you know what I mean? In the self-love and the self-development and the, you know, the shadow work. I think you've done enough. I think at this point you need to just be loved, and I think you will be. So receive it. Okay. And I think that will raise your self-esteem. That's it. That's it. This looks beautiful. What a great freaking question. I love that question. I'm going to make a short out of that question, I think. Let's see. Okay. So thank you, Mairead. We're going to move on. Who else do we have? Do you have any more coming in? Eileen Alexis said, I hear you. Thank you. I definitely want this relationship to improve, but you're right. Maybe he needs to detach to see what it is he really does want. That fixes everything. That fixes everything. And if it doesn't fix it right away and you go back and he does it again, detach again, detach again, detach again. You know, if it's really somebody you want to be with, as many times as you need to pull away, you know. I've had relationships that go on for 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, you know what I mean? But we get together periodically. And if I find out there's something whacked out about it, I pull back, and maybe we don't talk for another year. Maybe we don't talk for another 2 years. Then we get back together again. And it's better. It is better. It, you know, it is more fulfilling. But if I see again, another issue and they're not dealing with it, I pull back again, and we just do that. And that's the dance. Some relationships look like that, you know, and I don't know that it's a crime. I don't know that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I don't think it's what you want. I think you would like to have something concrete. You want to have somebody in the house. You want to have someone you feel like you can call on, you know, but it's what you make of it. I mean, we can either walk away from these things, or we can, you know, it's like playing a game. I mean, but it really is just energy, because that's how energy works. That's how law of attraction works. Okay. Whatever you feed, you get more of. And so if you don't want, you know, someone acting like a detached jackass, you pull away, and they have no choice. They have no choice but to fix it, because they, you know, that's what you're attracting, something higher. Okay, thank you very much for the feedback. We're going to move on. Do we have any more coming in? Next up is Edgar. Edgar asks, what love messages do I need to know for right now? I've been thinking of the secret admirers at work I wasn't, okay. At work you mentioned in previous shows, and sounds like Elsie, Emily, and Angel. Elsie, Emily, and Angel? Huh. I think the only one that is single is Angela. Well, there's no such thing as single anymore. Marriage doesn't mean anything. It's not even like, it's a government construct. It like literally these things don't mean anything anymore. Too, because like everyone's cheating. No one takes it seriously, you know, so don't worry about the relationships part of it. But who did he say? Angela? And I don't encourage cheating. I think it's sociopathic. That's not what I'm saying, but he did. Okay. Elsie, Emily, and Angel. Elsie, Emily, and Angel. What will love bring? Well, you know, I feel like Elsie's pretty high strung. So it's sort of like, I got this to take care of. I got that to take care of. This may be someone who is looking pretty seriously also at like building a life or building a family. This may be someone who wants children or who takes care of a lot of family members, or sort of like, you know, a little bit of everywhere. This is a true caretaker. They may have Cancer in their chart somewhere, you know, maybe some Pisces in their chart somewhere significant. I mean, this is the caretaker, maybe Virgo. So, you know, her focus can often be when she has a relationship, you know, or a family dynamic, whatever, that she is full on absorbed. She is like the trooper, the captain, the coach. Okay, everything, I have to do everything. Everything has to get done. So with her being very, very tied up in all of that, I would be a little surprised if she's really sort of able to move forward with you in any serious way, even if things aren't working for her here, okay, in her other relationships, or she has interest in it. She tends to throw herself in these other relationships almost like, well, I'm obligated. And it's like, you're not, though. What are you doing? Okay. Or like she may do that with work. Like she may have workaholic tendencies when she really needs to be addressing something in her personal life. She just excessively works. Okay. So she's a little avoidant, a little escapist. So I don't know that I would expect too much out of her in regards to like approaching you. And when I go over here with Emily, I do feel like Emily is wanting more conversation, and she's going to lean into that conversation. I don't care if she's with someone or not. She's leaning in. So if she's leaning in, I mean, this is where we just have to be careful, because if she's with someone, she's leaning into emotional dialogue. That's a form of cheating. She's leaning into emotional intimacy in any way. You know, that is building a relationship. You know, she's definitely leaning in. I'm going to leave it at that. So her, yes, leaning in. Angel seems to have a younger spirit and like kind of want to have more fun with it, you know, but she also seems very, I see like deep eyes and like very sincere in maybe if she were to approach you, or, you know, you were to approach her, you guys were to agree to get together in any way, it could be very, how do I want to say this? All that fun and frivolous and silliness kind of dies away. Like it falls off and it's like, oh, are we doing this? We're really doing this. You know, there's depth there. So that could go somewhere. I think if you were to take it there, I think though she doesn't really, I don't think she would want to pursue it. Like, I don't think she would want to ask you out. I think she would want to be asked out. And you may be hesitant on that for a while. I don't know too if you're saying like, let me get this thing worked out at work where I'm in like a higher position and then I'll do it or something. Maybe you're trying to create a little space. So it's like, if I don't work with her directly, you know what I mean? Maybe something about space. We have to be careful. We don't want to shit where we eat. You know, nobody does, but like sometimes it's worth it. So yeah, I mean, I don't see her necessarily full on asking you out, but I think she would like to get asked out. And if not, like, if you're not feeling that now, I would say in the next like 3 to 6 months, I would move in on that. Interesting. Thank you, Edgar. Have fun. That's a fun work environment. All right. What else do we have coming in here, or are we at time? Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. By the way, if I didn't already say it, and please do give this video a thumbs up. I forgot to ask you guys earlier. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, okay, all the things. If you're here on YouTube, hit the hype button and let me know where you're tuning in from in the comment section. Okay, and Tubbs TV. Okay, Tubes TV 2552 said, if I decide to visit this girl up north, what will become of it? Okay, do I have her name? Am I making the same mistakes as I have in the past? Well, I'm hearing yes, but we'll have to break that down. Okay, what am I doing wrong and how to mend it when it comes to finding a serious partner? Okay, this is a whole series of questions. So what am I doing wrong? Well, let me just pick one of these. Okay, so I could do one of these. What am I doing wrong in finding a serious partner? I think part of what you're doing is choosing people that are at so much of a distance from you that you can't really organically grow something. The absolute best way to get into a friendship, a love affair, is to cross paths organically. The universe does that for you. Now, it won't happen if you don't go anywhere. It won't happen if you don't let people in. It won't happen if you don't spend time in environments where social interaction can occur. Okay. So if you have invested, and I'm not really asking, I'm like, this is a statement, right? If you've been investing in a lot of online type of relationships, you know, then you have eliminated basically a lot of these organic opportunities. I think what you need to be doing is being around more people. I think you need to be in environments also where people can talk about the things that you like to talk about. So you may have some weird interests. Like, I'm not saying you're into Star Wars, you have a Star Wars helmet or anything per se, but like, you know, I'm not really into the sci-fi stuff. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but it looks like maybe Darth Vader and the white guys with the sticks and the white suits, you know. Was it Chewbacca or some shit? I don't know what I'm looking at here, but it feels like you may be into a world that is a little bit maybe different, alternative sci-fi. I mean, I don't know. This could also sometimes I go into like Japanese anime and stuff with all this like gaming, like whatever it is. It seems like you're in this world. Now that's fun, but whatever kind of weirder alternative stuff you're into, okay, I think you need to be around other people that are into that are online. Now, you know, sometimes people go to these conventions. I used to work that circuit because they blended at one point, you know, and that was interesting. You can meet people there, but I think it needs to be more simple than that. And that's what I think you need to do. Okay. So I don't want to overcomplicate that message. It's like, get off of online and make things more organic. I also feel like you don't have a ton of confidence when you're speaking to people per se. You may feel pretty good about what you're talking about because you're kind of interested in it. But in hindsight, you may feel like people aren't really responding for some reason, or things get off base, or you feel misunderstood. And I think that just takes a little bit more exposure. Okay. So just have the confidence that, you know, as you're kind of getting older, you're picking up on more and more skill and more people who are in alignment with your belief systems is what that looks like. Her name is Jasmine. Okay. And the question was, what would happen if you go to see her? I think it could be a fun time. I think you need to be spending, again, more time with people organically. So, you know, if that's something you want to travel to, I think it could be a good time. I do. It could be a little rushed. So I don't know if you guys aren't doing more than like 3 days or something, but it feels rushed. I also think you still, even with that, need to be spending more time locally. Okay. In organic situations. So yeah. Okay, thank you so much for your question. We're going to move on to another one. Good luck with all of that. It does feel pleasant. That's good. A lot of deeper connections in tonight's show. Interesting. Like a lot of people are at like, you know, contract time with one another. Fascinating. Okay, looks like we are at time. Again, you guys, just a reminder, if you prefer to do this privately or you have more questions you want to ask, you can go onto my website, ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, to book any type of reading. But for this, you're going to click on the love and relationships reading. I will see you guys on Monday for the astrology show, where I'm going to give the August horoscopes for each zodiac sign, and then we'll do a live Q&A at the end, taking all your questions. Also, next week we have pet readings, my pet psychic show, where I answer questions about your living or deceased pets on Wednesday. And then Thursday is my Dear Ivy show, my favorite, where I give you free advice. It's a play off of Dear Abby. It's totally free, so get your early questions in now on any topic. It's not a free psychic mediumship show. It's just my advice. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I will see you in a couple days. Have a great night.